Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the YUCCA Valley Film Festival, third edition 2021. We are very, very happy to be back with the festival this year. It's going to be digital again, but this is going to be an opportunity for everybody from this movie tonight and from every other movie in the festival to participate and to be with us in YUCCA Valley and in the Morongo Basin. The movie we have tonight with us is a very special movie because it's been filmed in and around YUCCA Valley and the high desert. It's set in the high desert. The topic you're going to see is about the music scene in the high desert. And we have all the cast of the movie and the producers and the director with us tonight. And I'm going to start by showing the trailer of the movie.
So there's this luxury camping experience thing, compound camping.
He must be the new guy.
Yeah, Jesse. They give you a 5-star camping hotel thing, $5 grand for a room, and they only take cash.
Money!
Okay, so what would be the plan?
I gotta tell you guys something.
My name's Detective Hayward. I'm with the California State Police Department.
The deal we made was with Zach, not you. I don't know who you are.
You don't know who he is either.
That one's Zach.
How much something like this bring in?
$500,000 if we sell out.
We get our bearings, locate where the safe is, then walk it to the car.
Seems simple enough.
You think you could do that?
I think we could.
So we have with us tonight the actors, the actresses, the director, and the producer of the movie. Let me welcome them right now. Chelsea, Dale, Monroe, Jay, Brady, and Nicholas.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Very good.
Very happy to have you all to discuss this movie, YUCCA Fest, which is the opening feature film of the 2021 YUCCA Valley Film Festival. And there, I think it was just the perfect film to open the festival this year because it's set in the desert. The music scene is very important, as you know and as everybody knows. Let's start by maybe who is who. So Chelsea is the director. You've been doing the New York Film Academy, correct?
Yep,
Can
I
you
went
tell us
to New York Film Academy in New York, and then I moved over to LA to pursue more film instead of theater-oriented things.
Okay, excellent. Dale, you next. What do you do in the film?
I play Kevin. I'm a trained theater actor and trained in film. And yeah, I just came to LA to kind of pursue my love in more kind of film and filmmaking. And thanks for having me.
Okay. Brady.
Hey,
Brady.
I graduated with a bachelor's in film in 2012, which makes me an old person now. I moved out to California in 2015. Originally, I moved to the San Bernardino Mountains and then made my way out to Morongo Valley, which was great in the time that I was out there. I've since moved to Florida. I really miss the mountains. I really miss the desert, though. I will say that.
I can feel that. Monroe.
Hi, I play Summer. She's kind of like the evil mastermind behind the whole robbery in the movie. She's like kind of a kleptomaniac, and I'm kind of the opposite in real life. I'm not as devious, I don't think. But I grew up in Austin, Texas, and I moved out to LA in 2017 for dance, actually. So I've been dancing and acting out here since then, minus 2020 because we don't count that year. But yeah.
Nobody counts that.
It feels like we did this ages ago, but.
Jay.
Yeah. Hey, guys. I'm Jay Reynolds. And I had the pleasure of playing Summer's boyfriend. I played Pete in the movie. And also did help with producing on it as well, and kind of just everything. It was a scramble. It was very fun. I'm an original California kid. I grew up in Huntington Beach and moved to LA in 2012. It's a while now.
Okay. Nicholas.
Last but not least, hi everybody. My name is Nicholas Harson. I play Zach in the film. Zach is I would say, loose cannon. He's also the probably the comedic relief of the movie, which is very unlike me in real life. I like dictionaries mostly. Yeah, I think I'm the only actor in Los Angeles who did not move here to act. I didn't even know acting was a thing. I just kind of fell into it after being here for about a year, bumming around the West Side. Yeah, and I'm thrilled to be a part of this movie.
So let's, and I don't know who's going to answer that first question, but when did you film YUCCA Fest? It was before COVID, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. We actually had very good timing in the grand scheme of things, I would say. We filmed in May of 2019. Yeah. And then we filmed some pickup shots, very, very little stuff like throughout the summer right there and a little bit into the fall. So we were 100%, in the oh man, what's that phrase?
You were at the right time to do it, because after that, everybody went kind of bonkers.
Exactly. But what was good about it was we had, like I said, everything we had filmed. And then when we got to the point where the pandemic started, it was just me editing and I had everything I needed and plenty of time. And yeah.
So you used the time you had after during the pandemic to edit the movie and make it look good. We're gonna go back to that. How would you describe the movie, the story of it? We know the pitch. To me, if I had to describe it, I would say it's a heist movie, but in a different way. Would that be correct?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I guess I'll field this one. Yes, it's definitely a heist movie. 4 friends rob a music festival, right? But yeah, definitely like a indie kind of funky vibe to it all.
Young adult for sure. Like not coming of age, but like definitely like a younger like demographic could probably relate to it, because it's like late teens, early 20s, like friends goofing off. There's a lot of us goofing off together, and there's always good comedic relief of Sir Zach.
The movie has a great vibe to it, and it's not. I mean, I didn't feel the movie was trying to be too serious. You know what I mean? And that, I think that echoes what you just said, Monroe. That kind of comedic style and also the visual style next to it. It's very easy to watch. You start. The first time I watched the movie, I just wanted to went through it, and I just pressed play, and then I just watched the whole movie. It's very easy. Usually I watch them and then I study them for the questions, but I just watch it from beginning to the end, and I'm mixing all the questions. How did it happen? How did the script happened, and then how did the movie became a reality?
So around the early part of 2018, I started kind of asking a friend of ours, Walt, who was a college roommate of mine. He went to college with me, and he was the best man at my wedding. He was a good friend of mine. And I started asking him about what would a movie look like if it was vaporwave in genre, not just vaporwave in theme, if we took these musical elements and these aesthetic elements and really made it the movie. So we came up with the script, and it was a little bit shortly after that we were going to start pre-production, and Walt was killed in Philadelphia, and he was my buddy. So at that point, I kind of thought about scrapping the entire idea, but we had already cast most of it at that point. And Chelsea, I actually met in Florida around the same time I met Walt, and she knew Walt pretty well. And during the casting, she was our casting director too, also. And she seemed to really understand the script, and I thought we could go forward as long as we had somebody who understood maybe what Walt was gonna do with it and really understood the story. And
then that's how Chelsea, you came on board, and how you became the director of the film, which is your directing debut.
It is, yes, it is. I was originally the casting director, and I found all these great actors, and we had a bunch of fun at the casting calls. And I was surprised when Brady asked me to direct, because it is my debut. But I'm very glad we did. I'm very honored.
So how did you approach the film? You had the script. What did you? I mean, you were already involved in the movie as a casting director, so you knew the script. Did you read it in a different way when you became the official director of it?
I did a bit. We had a great cinematographer who couldn't be here today. Rob and Brady did a lot of the technical cinematography style things, so I wasn't as heavily involved in that. So I got to focus on the actors and acting, which, being an actor myself, was really great. So I approached it more with a little bit of a theater aspect, where I got everyone together and I wanted the four friends to really feel like a real friendship from high school. So we had personal rehearsals with those four and had a lot more time together so they could develop chemistry, so that it seemed like authentic friendships. And I think that it worked very well.
So you did not know, I'm talking to the cast, Dane, Monroe, Jay, and Nicholas, you did not know each other before the film?
That's actually not completely true. So I knew Chelsea from Playhouse West, which is a small independent Meisner studio in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. And I was thrilled to learn that Chelsea was casting a movie. It's like, wait, what? You're a casting director? I'm sorry. Okay, fantastic. Like, I can absolutely see you casting a movie and crushing it. And then, wait, you're directing too? Wow, fantastic. Okay, great. And then I hadn't met Jay yet, but Jay also went to Playhouse. So like we're actually linked in a like inadvertent way. And I know Jay before getting on board of this movie. But the ties that bind us, I feel like we were meant to work together on this film.
Interesting. So you had different connections, indirect connections between each other. How did you appreciate, or how did you go through the theatrical rehearsals that Chelsea just described? How did you use it to create the chemistry, the bond between these friend to death characters in the movie?
We did just kind of scheduled meetings. I mean, we kind of all live very busy, fast lives and just set the time aside, right? And Chelsea definitely spearheaded the whole thing and hosted these little rehearsals, and we would go through the beats and go through kind of just the emotions and objectives of these characters and play with that to each other, whoever was in the scene, and then it was kind of a collaborative effort, kind of just crafting the ideal scenarios and motives behind all of these things.
Mm-hmm. And then I think you guys went and hung out on your own for a while, didn't you?
Yeah.
Started actually becoming friends.
Oh yeah, didn't you guys go bowling?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I distinctly remember us going bowling. It was just
in YUCCA Valley at the YUCCA Bowl?
No, in Hollywood, actually.
In Hollywood.
Yeah.
We saw someone famous too.
But I feel like also when we were out in filming was great bonding time also. I remember we stayed at an Airbnb that was covered in really awesome Christmas lights, and it was just very goofy and fun and lots of bonding, because obviously it was what, 2-hour drive, 2.5 hour, I can't remember the exact length, but it was great bonding time just being out there together, essentially stranded.
Yeah, and for those of you watching also, if you heard Monroe say, that house, the Airbnb with the Christmas lights, and you're thinking that super psychedelic, trippy house, that is the place.
That is the place.
Yeah.
How did you, where did you film? Because this is the YUCCA Valley Film Festival. So can you give me the almost exact locations of filming?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it, I would say, I used to know the exact number, but I think it's something 25 of our 42 scenes, or maybe it's even higher than that, were filmed at my house. And I lived in northern Morongo Valley, so right over the hillside right there would be Yucca Valley. right off the highway, about 3/4 of a mile off the highway. So we had a little bit of space between us, and you could still hear the highway in some of our scenes a little bit. But what was good about our house too, the place where I was it was very hilly. It was 2.5 acres, but it was built on kind of a slope. So the top of it looked completely different than the bottom of the property, and we had all this different diversity there, so we could make it look like it was way more scenes and way more locations and stuff like that.
So using your house, your backyard, and everything around, and use it because it's true. You can just do like I don't know, 100 yards in the desert, and it's going to look very different.
Yeah,
so
it looks similar, but it's definitely a completely different location. And then we, one of my favorite scenes of the entire movie is the redneck standoff scene, and we went out to 29 Palms for that. I had a friend of mine who was telling me, go out here and we can shoot guns and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'm actually looking for a spot, away from people to point guns at each other and, not really cause a lot of attention and stuff like that. So he took me out there. Oh shoot, I don't remember the exact name of the road, but it's out there quite a ways, sort of near the airport up there.
Okay, I see.
But far enough away.
Can you describe or define the vaporwave movement or aesthetics?
I wish I could. Does somebody else want to take that?
Can someone else take that? That's so.
Just watch the movie.
It's a very, very unique
nostalgic.
thing. Yeah.
It's hard to describe. There's a joke in the vaporwave culture that vaporwave is indescribable and vaporwave is dead. So does vaporwave exist? It's kind of indescribable.
It's like an 80s, 90s, kind of like if you were to watch a film, it'd be like a grainy, very noisy kind of aesthetic to it. And it's I think of like pastel neon colors. Like if you were to take neons and turn them into a pastel, it's like kind of
like Miami Vice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was tons of other elements that we mixed in that were close to vaporwave, but not really vaporwave, like synthwave, glitch wave, lo-fi. There's a lot of these other things that kind of add to it. But at the end of the day, vaporwave is more about the mediumness. And what I mean by that is if you're listening to a vinyl record, you're listening to the vinyl record. You can hear the vinyl popping on there. If you're listening to a tape, maybe there's a little bit of a twang to it because you left it in your car on a hot day or something like that. You really want to compel people to
kind of
hear it and see it on the level of
texture
exactly
of the medium.
Get into the grid of it.
How do you put that in a script? For example, I don't know, Nicholas Dale J. Monroe, when you read the script the first time, did you feel that vibe and that texture?
Not so much for me personally.
I think it became evident, I think, once it had gone through the editing process, I was like, got it. Because I think so much of it ended up being both auditory and visual, like with the effects. And I think that's why it was so interesting to watch.
I specifically wanted to keep the story and the characters grounded in reality. So we weren't focusing so much on the edits. We were trying to focus on the relationships and not play it up too much because we wanted to have authentic character moments with each other. So it was actually easier while we were filming it, at least I think, to not focus on that, but more focus on the real conversations. So that might be I didn't add any of that when we were directing.
Yeah, parroting what the others said, in no way did the aesthetic really come through the page, at least like in memory of reading the script. I just remember being really excited about page 8 or 9. Like to me, that's an indicator that this is, if you get about a fifth of the way through the script and you feel like the blood pumping in your veins, this is something that's really exciting and special. That does not happen very often. And like Chelsea said, we all just kept it grounded in reality. Most of us are Meisner trained. Like that's kind of like our bread and butter. And then Brady, stepped in after the film had been shot and kind of added this really cool onion marmalade.
I like that.
Can you guide us a little bit through this, Brady? Because you added stuff in the editing. You,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you put some all this grainy stuff, everything happening in the sky, all the pastel colors popping and disappearing and coming back, the images mixing with each other. How did you stick to the vaporwave definition, or did you use it as kind of a base to just mold it and put it into the movie to make the movie its own?
Yeah, I would say more of like using it as a base. I really wanted to make sure that the desert was in there as well, and that's not really something that you see a lot in vaporwave. More like Roman stuff, like I said before, like Miami Vice kind of stuff. So palm trees, stuff like that. So yeah, putting it out into the desert was its own thing. So I had to really come up with ways to put that in there. Make the desert a character, make the sky brilliant, because that's one of the cornerstones of the desert is you look up at the night sky and it's amazing every single night. It's
And every season, it's
right. Yeah,
it's different,
absolutely.
but what you see is going to be different all the time, but still always amazing. You've been to the movie has been to Hong Kong, Berlin, London, New York, Las Vegas. What type of feedback did you have? Because your movie is not anything like I've seen before. It's bold. I mean, it could come out as strange, but it works as a whole. So what kind of feedbacks did you have about the film itself? Maybe Chelsea or Brady?
Not really a whole lot of feedback, but something that I did notice was we either get into film festivals and we usually win an award, and this isn't just me bragging or anything, this is just based on what I've seen, or we don't get into the film festival at all.
At all. So this is the kind of reaction that some people are going to be loving it, and
exactly.
If not, they're going to ignore it.
Yeah, it's a very, maybe polarizing isn't the right word, but there is a very, I guess, shock. Either I like it or I don't.
Yeah.
Thing to it.
Yeah, and Chelsea.
I also think people are impressed by what we did on the budget we had. That's something that I've heard a lot about. That I don't remember the exact numbers, but what we were able to do with very little budget.
Yeah, it was about $9,000 total.
So it's a 10K movie, absolutely independent. One private location, looking like 20 different sets, and a group of rising actors. How do you, and I think it's Nicholas or Jay just said that before, everybody was involved in helping the movie become possible. So I guess it's the kind of adventure. It's not only, oh, I'm just playing this character. You're playing the character, but I guess you're helping with equipment. You must be driving a car at some moment. Everybody's doing everything. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a skeleton crew for sure, and
a lot of different hats.
Yeah, we all definitely pitched in and helped where we could.
Dale is in the background in a costume in one of the scenes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No, he's in a wig too.
Yeah,
he's in a costume.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
There's a scene where
maybe I'm the lead background actor.
Wig.
Oh yeah.
I think all of these things, though, they really do lend a certain element of authenticity to the film. I mean, like working on a studio lot, as an actor, you're isolated. I mean, you're in your trailer until an AD calls you and you go and do your scene. You've probably not met any of the actors that you're shooting with, and then you go back to your trailer, and then your AD calls you and you go do another scene. I mean, this really was all hands on deck in the best sense of the word, and I think that it really kind of it paid dividend in ways that we hadn't foreseen.
Different experience. Did you have locals to help you, or did you have background people to help you? How was the community involved?
Big shout out to Daytime Moon, by the way. They came out for a couple nights. We actually got rained out one night and they came back, so huge shout out to them. Thank you so much. We put out a lot of casting calls on pretty much anything we could. all the Facebook groups that would let us, on Instagram, Craigslist, that kind of thing. And yeah, we got some really cool people to come out. We also had one not so cool person, but he left pretty quick, so I'm not worried about him.
It's always a gamble.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
The locals were great. They had so much fun. And yeah, Daytime Moon, they're a local band, and they're so great. They came out. I think we had like 3 nights of extras.
There might have been 3 nights where they came out. Yeah.
We told them it's a festival, like wear your most fun colors, and people got really into it. So that was great.
There was like those 2 Coachella girls that really looked like the real deal. They had some very believable costumes.
In their minds, they were Coachella.
They came from LA.
Yeah, those ones definitely came straight from LA.
Monroe, you said in the introduction that your character is almost nothing like you. She's the mastermind of the robbery in the movie. She's kind of the driving force of the heist. Have you ever robbed anybody?
No,
I don't think so. I hope not.
A human being before. God, no. When I was like 7 years old, though, I did remember taking a purse chain from the inside of a purse at this nice store with my mom, and I like hid it under my bed, and she found out because I confessed. Like I literally go, I stole the purse chain, and it wasn't even the real. It was like a chain that goes to the inside of a purse. So yeah, I mean, but it was really fun because from her standpoint, it's just almost a means of survival. I think she's really ambitious. She wants a way out of her current lifestyle. She wants to be comfortable. She wants ultimately, I think, stability. And this was her way to get there. Not your normal route. I mean, robbing a music festival, most people would get a job, but not
at the music festival.
Yeah, no. She likes to take the hard way out.
Dale, how would you describe your experience on set filming YUCCA Fest?
God, it was wonderful. I have to say, like, I look back on just the whole filming process, and even before the rehearsal process, and it is, I say completely honestly, one of the best memories I have, and one of the best experiences I've ever had. Just being able to work on this film with a bunch of like this, as I think it was Jay that said, a skeleton crew. Just everyone kind of ended up becoming so close, and you know, I had come in with I was less experienced in film as everyone else, and just seeing like such an amazing like cast and like director and crew all help kind of give me tips and move me in like a way that would like create like the performance that you see is just more than I could ask for. So yeah,
a good experience then.
Yeah, very good.
So heartfelt. I like.
How many days did you need to film YUCCA Fest?
I think we did it in about 3 weeks, didn't we? Maybe less than that. Maybe like 20 days.
Maybe less. Yeah.
We got rained out for like a bit.
Yeah.
We had some weather. It snowed. When we were up in Big Bear area.
Yeah.
We saw snow. That was lovely. But
in May. Yeah. And then we went down to the desert and we were like hot and sweaty again.
It was like.
This is the beauty of the desert, definitely.
The tent scene with the dog was, we had the tent set up outside, and then it was pouring rain, and we were like, what are we going to do? So we rebuilt the tents in a garage to make it look like it was outside because it was raining.
That scene when the 4 are at the picnic bench and Zach's gun falls out of his pants, that was the most it was frigid. I remember that my teeth were chattering. We had to keep retaking.
I remember because we were like, why is it so cold? And then we drove up the hill and there was snow. We're like, oh, no wonder we're freezing.
It was painful, and we got through it somehow.
I remember you had to put a gun in the back of your pants and you were like, it's so cold. It's so cold.
Yeah, if my lips are blue in any of those picnic scenes, that's why.
Understandable. What camera did you use? What equipment did you have to make this movie come to life?
Blackmagic Pocket 4K. Mostly because I had already worked with the Blackmagic pocket cams before then and a couple 4K cams, and I was very used to the style and the workflow that's associated with them. And they did a great job. We had set of prime lenses that we had rented. We had pretty much everything that we needed, I think. The real difficult part, I would say, was sound, because we were, filming in the desert in the valley in May. It's very, very windy. Yeah. And not every day was like that, but the one that really comes to mind is the redneck scene that I was talking about before. That was so windy, incredibly windy, and
you can tell because the shirts move around all the time.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think Chelsea, after we filmed that scene, I think Chelsea was the one who brought this up in the script. The very first word of that scene is stillness. The desert is completely still, and it was like, it didn't work out that way, but whatever. Not at all. So we had the boom, and we had a dead cat over that and all that kind of stuff, and that's what really saved that scene completely, because we got back to the studio that night and we were just so distraught about like, we're gonna have to do that again.
That whole scene was useless with sound.
Yeah. And we broke that mic, that shotgun mic. It broke. Next day we found out it wasn't working. Mm-hmm. We opened it up and just a bunch of sand poured out, like through the blimp, through everything. It was like, I don't know, someone else. I think it was one of your friends' mics. It was like a $700 mic, and
10-year warranty though. So.
I think what happened? A bunch of sand blew into it, and we
we found out when we were shooting in LA.
So the desert took the microphone from you. That was kind of your gift to the desert to
sacrifice. Yeah.
I think the wind really lended something to the scene, though. It kind of made it dynamic in a way, and it like raised the stakes because obviously we're in a standoff. So I know like our energy as actors, we're kind of like, oh, we got to get this. It's so windy, and I feel like that kind of read in the scene as well. We're just kind of like
it gives on edge. Kind of a Western vibe to the standoff.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. That's how I perceived it. How would you describe the movie for those watching who have not seen it yet? How would you describe it so they want to go back and watch it in full? That's a tough question.
Explain it to somebody who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
To get them to go and watch it.
In one word, or can we use multiple words?
Yeah, right.
couple sentences. One word. Kind of a pitch, like.
Okay. I would call it a psychedelic vaporwave journey into the desert, into. Oh man, something like that. I like psychedelic vaporwave journey though. I'm gonna keep that part at least.
I do like that.
Somebody else add on to that.
Somebody else add on it.
Psychedelic vaporwave journey.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, he's up there now, or up there.
High stakes adventure.
High stakes adventure. Okay.
Friends.
Chelsea, how would you describe your movie?
Oh my goodness.
How would you pitch a movie if you were on a talk show and you had to sell the movie to an audience?
It is a lot of fun and it's a lot of unexpectedness. So if you're down to watch something and constantly be confused and excited, you should watch this movie.
Brand new too. That's something else I would say. Brand new. Nothing like you've ever seen before.
And I totally agree with that. I watch a lot of movies all the time, and this one stands out for its aesthetics. And I want to also say we can feel the energy you guys as a team put into the movie. There are so many movies. I mean, to make it happen till the end, pre-production, filming the movie, overcoming the challenges, editing the movie, putting it into festivals, coming back to do something like that, to promote the film and engage people. That's a whole journey, and that's a job. And you have my congratulations for that, because a movie is only going to be as successful as you want it to be, and as the efforts you put in, I think. Do you think you could have done that film in a different setting? This is, let's say, it's a desert movie, YUCCA Fest, happening in Yucca Valley, Morongo Basin, with joshua trees all around, with a Coachella vibe, let's say. Could the movie happen in a very different setting? Same script.
Like a jungle?
I think so.
Why
Yeah,
not?
let's go down to Florida. Let's shoot it again, Brady.
Yeah.
We can do Florida.
Bora Bora.
I might get rained out.
If you had to do a sequel, let's say if you had to make a sequel, you keep the same cast and you do it again, and that's the new heist they have to execute. Where would you set it?
Yucca Fest Water World.
Or the Rob Fire Festival.
Oh, I'm not sure you're gonna make a lot of money if you go into the Fire Fest.
Right?
I like the
I think
idea
if I did a
of
sequel, I
London.
would probably go east a little bit, but not by much. I think I would probably go to like the Colorado mountains or Sierra Nevada or something like that, and maybe try to like push it up that way. But I don't really see this movie planning, like, all the things that they did and all the wide open spaces and having the desert be a character. I don't really see, like Jay said, Florida or, maybe New York or whatever. I don't see those things really lending themselves too much to the exact script that we have. There would definitely be some rewrites for sure.
Yeah, so the desert really is a character in the movie, and it really plays in the movie, definitely. Okay, guys, is there anything else you want to talk about this film?
Go download the soundtrack, or at least listen to it at metalmedia.bandcamp.com. Matt Waldner did an amazing job. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona. He did an absolutely incredible job blending all the different things together, all the different elements. Hats off to him. He did just incredible work. Go and listen to it, especially what's the Western one? Tickets, plural? Is that it? Such a great job blending vaporwave in with Western vibes and all that is, absolutely incredible.
I don't know about the rest of the cast, but a cassette tape showed up on my doorstep with the soundtrack. I have no clue how I'm going to figure out.
How to play it?
I'm going to take it to the film history library in Beverly Hills when it opens back up. I think they have a tape player.
There you go. Has everybody else gotten their tapes?
Yes.
I was actually saying right before we got on this, I've got a fucking boombox. I was listening to it.
I need to borrow that.
Jumped on. Yeah, it truly is an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, it blends very well with the film, and I guess it's something you can really enjoy and in a specific setting. If you just listen to the music and want to get some time off your brain, turn off your brain, that's going to be the soundtrack you do want to use. If you guys want to watch YUCCA Fest, the movie, this is where you can go. The whole YUCCA Valley Film Festival is free of charge. It's organized by the town of Yucca Valley. All the screenings, digital or in person, digital this year, are free. You just need to sign up on the Zerb channel, the same platform we used last year for the same festival. Once you have your account on Zerb, you're going to be able to access all the movies. We have more than 70 movies and artists this year at the YUCCA Valley Film Festival 2021. And the opening movie is YUCCA Fest. Let me put that back up here. It's really something that stands out. It's a locally filmed movie with a gang of youngsters who decide to rob a music festival. And it really is an adventure, some comedy, some hype, vapor-waved pastel moments all along the movie, and a very, very good atmosphere and adventure also. Thank you so much, Chelsea, Nicholas, Monroe, Jay, Dale, and Brady. Thank you for this film, and thank you for being part of the YUCCA Valley Film Festival. Have a very good rest of your day.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.